My daughter came home crying because her teacher called her drawing stupid, so I made sure that teacher never forgot my name. My daughter Mia was 8 and obsessed with drawing. Every single day after school, she'd rush to her room and spend hours sketching these elaborate fantasy worlds with dragons and castles. Her walls were covered in her artwork, but one afternoon she walked through the door with tears streaming down her face, clutching her backpack. I immediately knelt down and asked what happened. She pulled out a crumpled drawing from her bag, a beautiful sketch of a phoenix she'd worked on all week during art class. Across the top in red marker, her teacher Mrs. Henderson had written, "Childish. Put effort into real subjects." Mia told me that when she asked if she could display it on the classroom wall like other kids got to do, the teacher laughed and said her drawings were stupid distractions and she should focus on math instead. I felt my blood boil, but I stayed calm for Mia. I told her that her art was incredible and that teacher was wrong. That night, I couldn't sleep thinking about my daughter's shattered confidence. The next morning, I emailed requesting a meeting with Mrs. Henderson. She replied within an hour, probably thinking I'd be another parent she could brush off quickly. When I arrived, she barely looked up from grading papers. I calmly explained that Mia was devastated and asked why she would discourage a child's creativity like that. Mrs. Henderson sighed like I was wasting her time and said, "Look, I teach fundamentals. Art is a hobby, not a real skill. I'm preparing these kids for the real world, not Fantasyland. Your daughter needs to focus on subjects that matter." I smiled, thanked her for her time, and left. But I wasn't done. I was furious, and I needed ammunition. That weekend, I started digging. I found out the school was hosting a regional education conference in 2 weeks, where teachers would showcase innovative methods. Mrs. Henderson was scheduled to present on engaging reluctant learners. Then I found her daughter's public Instagram. It was filled with artwork, with a bio reading, "Aspiring Illustrator," and prints for sale. The hypocrisy was unbelievable. I saw the school had posted asking for parent volunteers for the conference. I immediately signed up, offering to design programs and materials since I did graphic design freelance. They were desperate for help and accepted immediately. For the next 2 weeks, I worked with Mia every evening. I told her we were going to show people how amazing her art was. She created dozens of drawings, each one more detailed than the last. She was so excited that someone believed in her again. Conference day arrived. I showed up early with everything printed. The programs I designed featured Mia's artwork throughout every page, with a small credit. Artwork by Mia Torres, age 8, local student. But my real move was the display board I set up right outside the main room. Huge prints of Mia's best drawings, professionally matted and framed. A plaque read, "Supporting Creative Learning, Student Showcase." Mrs. Henderson walked in and stopped dead when she saw it. Her face went white. Other teachers were already gathering around, impressed by the talent. The principal approached, looked at the plaque, and asked loudly, "This is wonderful. Who's the artist?" I stepped forward and said, "My daughter Mia. She's in Mrs. Henderson's class." The principal's face lit up. "Mrs. Henderson, you must be so proud. Have you been nurturing this talent?" Mrs. Henderson stammered something about curriculum constraints, but I wasn't finished. I pulled out my phone and said casually, "Actually, I noticed your daughter is pursuing illustration in college. She's incredibly talented. You must understand how important early encouragement is." Her expression went from pale to red. Other teachers were already looking up the Instagram, commenting on how beautiful the work was. One said, "You must be so supportive of creative kids, having an artist in your own family." Mrs. Henderson couldn't say anything without exposing herself as a hypocrite. She just nodded and walked away quickly. 2 days later, Mia came home grinning. Mrs. Henderson had started a weekly art showcase, and Mia's phoenix was displayed first. The principal had apparently visited and suggested integrating more creative projects. Mrs. Henderson even pulled Mia aside and apologized, saying she'd been wrong. I don't know if it was genuine or just covering herself after being exposed, but Mia's confidence was back. That night, Mia drew a portrait of me and handed it to me at dinner. On the back she'd written, "My hero." I hung it above my desk where I see it every single day.